Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to UniTea Days. This is a bit different from what we intended to do. First of all, you cannot see our faces. You can see our icons. We had some internet issues and we just decided to just make it audio only. But you'll see our lovely Discord icons in the meanwhile. But before we're gonna get into that in just a little bit, but I just want to say we're sorry that not everyone is joining us today. It's just life that works that way. So you have me, Mai, and we have Yura.
Hello, hello.
And we have Kim Kardashian, aka AJ.
Hi.
So that's the three of us from UniTea Days today. So let's just, before we get into the episode, let's just talk a little about our icon and why we chose it for our Discord and I guess for our UniTea Days episode today. Well, my icon is the orange salmon nigiri with a little smiley face, which is really relatable because, or not relatable, more like coincidental, I guess. Because in a few hours, I will be having a sushi dinner.
Oh my
So I'm going to
God.
eat my icon. And the reason why I chose it is because, honestly, I just love sushi. I tried being a vegan and a vegetarian and a pescatarian. But I guess, yeah, sushi is being pescatarian. But yeah, sushi is definitely one of my favorite foods of all time. Watching Seaspiracy did not have a big effect on me. I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I just love my sushi and I know I'm contributing to the problem. But I swear I try to have more vegetarian meals to make up for it, or at least sometimes vegan. That's just a long-winded answer of saying I'm sorry to my vegan and vegetarian friends. But I chose sushi for my icon because I love sushi. Anyway, let's move on to the blue icon. Yura, would you like to explain a little?
Oh, wow. I think I made Discord at the start of the pandemic and I love Sailor Moon and like my go-to sailor. That is so weird. But my favorite character is Sailor Mars because she's a badass. She is basically like me, like fiery type of girl, Aries girl. So yeah, and in this icon, she is wearing a mask because she is sick, but she had to go to work. So to make sure that the other sailors do not get what she has, she is conscious enough to wear a mask. So it's like I put this icon so people would understand that even Sailor Mars wear a mask.
Preach it, sister. Preach it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's it. That's my campaign. That's my mask campaign.
Amen to
She's
that.
ahead of her
Wear mask,
time.
people. That's it.
Okay.
That's the whole story. That's the tea.
That is a tea. Ah, lovely. Thank you, Yura. Now let's go to the most iconic icon out of the three of us.
Oh my God.
AJ, the floor is yours.
I mean, who would not agree that Kim Kardashian in this photo is such a mood? Like,
It is. That's how I feel.
well, I'm not sure if this was on the episode that she lost her earrings. No, that's not the episode when she lost her earrings on like
That's
the
when
beach.
they were in the water, I think.
Was it that? Oh yeah, that one when like Courtney was making fun of Kim's face.
Yes.
Basically
Wow.
that, yeah.
You guys.
Anyway, I'm not hating on Kim Kardashian or any of the Kardashians. Just a disclaimer. It's just that this photo is such a mood, like every day, because you have those days in med school where you just look like that. So yeah. Yeah, I was just like about to say like it's like the perfect representation of me on a daily basis.
Oh, well, speaking of med school, AJ, before we started recording, you were telling me, and I would like you to share with everyone what you had to do before recording this episode.
Oh my god. Okay, so I had to film myself doing this procedure, which is splinting and putting on a cast on a patient, which is my cousin. And
Oh
yeah,
wow.
she didn't break anything, she didn't break any bones or whatever, but it's just an like, she's just an actor acting as my patient for this case. But yes, I had to put on a splint on her leg.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, it's a great way to like
Wow.
practice outside of med school.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just that I had to take a video of it,
Mm-hmm.
obviously edit it and do some voiceovers before I submit it to my professor, and then yeah, hoping that I did well.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You did. Yeah.
Hoping.
AJ, you're there. What year are you in? Like third
Third year,
year
yeah.
now?
I'm on my third year.
So you've gotten this far. You've got this, bro. Like Kim Kardashian in your spirits. Like I'll help you.
Manifesting Kim Kardashian in law school, basically.
Yeah, let's move on to the topic of today's episode. We haven't decided on the title yet, but basically, we're going to talk about why we chose to study at the UK. Well, for you guys, it was earlier because I moved to the UK in 2014. When did you guys move?
It should be 2 years before you, so 2012 for me.
And I moved 2013.
Oh, so we all moved at different years, in different years.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
oh,
hello.
Someone
we
just
have
joined.
Hello,
our
hello.
fourth member.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
Shafi. And Shafi, would you like to say hello?
Hello, guys. Yeah, sorry I'm a bit late into the party. But I am.
All right.
I love it, Poddy. I love it. We should
Sorry.
make it a thing.
We should say that now. Welcome to the potty. So yeah, right before we were joined by Shafi, we were just talking about when we first moved to the UK. So I moved in 2014, Yura moved in 2012, and AJ moved in 2013. So Shafi, would you like to share when you moved to the UK?
I moved in around the same time as 2014. That's when I started the first year of uni.
Yeah, so same with me. And Yura and AJ, you moved to the UK for foundation first, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was about a year course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it then. Why we chose to go to the UK? Does Yura or AJ want to share why they chose to go to the UK? Because you did foundation, so you knew that you wanted to do your university there, right?
Yeah. Maybe Yer can go
Yeah.
first.
Oh, why?
I volunteered you, so
On the hot seat, Yura.
Okay.
Sorry to put you on the hot seat.
It's okay. I'm trying to I'm trying to list my reasons. Well, my first reason was I was taking IB back then. And to be honest, way back then I thought I was going to be a doctor, so I took biology in higher level, chemistry in higher level. And it was stupidest thing that I've ever done because you can't get good grades on that. And I thought really wanted to go to the UK, but with I hear a laughter.
Sorry.
I know you feel me.
I
know you feel me. Yeah, so I thought I don't think I could make it with this grades. Like the UK, they would I forgot the requirements, but most of the universities that I want to go to, they wanted at least 36, and I was I think I just got like 30 or something, and I thought this is not going to work. Like I really want to go to the UK. So I decided to join foundation, and also because the foundation that I went to has psychology. like the program has psychology and sociology, and I wanted to take psychology.
Mhm.
While in my school, we don't have psychology as a subject, so that's also a plus. But yeah, mostly because I just wanted to go to the UK so much that I have to make sure from the get go that I could get into a UK university through a foundation program.
Mm. Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. What about you, AJ?
Oh, it's a similar like experience to be honest. I also took the IB, took like the subjects mentioned
Woo!
by Euro because I'm going towards the medical track, I guess. But
Mm.
yeah, I didn't get enough scores. Like the grades that I got wasn't enough to get into like the university that I wanted to go to. So I took a
Mm.
foundation year as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. One of the main reasons why I really chose like studying there in the UK was more of like um the the how do I explain? It's like the way they deliver their modules, I guess,
Mhm.
because it's much more focused to what you
Mm.
want to do rather than like say for other countries that have like elective subjects that you need to take or like minors that you have to do in order to get your degree. Like it's not
Mhm.
really that common in the UK for you to have like a minor
Mm.
per se.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
so because I also considered studying in the US, but then like um yeah, I didn't really like the idea of me having to
Oh,
take like I don't know, like another subject
yeah.
that's not
SAT.
related. Yeah, that's
Oh,
it as well.
SATs. Gosh.
But yeah, like I wasn't really
SATs.
comfortable with like taking another subject that I'm never gonna use in my life
Mm.
for the sake of like getting
Mm-hmm.
enough like units or credits. I don't know like which one they use there. um
Yeah.
to graduate. So yeah, it's the like for me the UK like curriculum is more focused like I guess
Mhm.
on what you want to do, especially if you know
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing in life. I think that's more important
Mm.
because I already knew that I wanted to be a doctor
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
before I went to university, before I went to the UK, before I even went to like high school. I already knew I wanted to be a doctor. So
Mhm.
yeah, I
Wow.
needed to like find like a place where they're more focused. And I also like then like the reason why I moved abroad as well, like in general, like studying outside the country is like to expand my horizons, like my thoughts. I don't want to be like constricted with
Mm.
one like train of like thinking. Like for example, in my country, I
Yeah.
didn't want to be like stuck into the way of like how my countrymen would think. Like it's not necessarily bad, but it's
Mm.
just that I want to
Mhm.
expand that. Like I want to make sure I have all the options available for me. And if I had like the capability to do so, why not? Right? Like take the opportunity as much as you
Yeah.
can to like
Yeah.
learn about the world while you can. So that's like one of the main
Mhm.
reasons why I really chose to like study abroad than like stay here in the country.
Mm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
more of like personal growth,
Oh,
if
that's
you'd
a
say.
lovely point. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like I completely agree with you. Like, well, I'm a bit different. Because like originally Malaysian, but I grew up in Saudi Arabia. And where I went to high school, like there was such a mix of people because I went to international school. I think Yura and AJ went to international schools, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So I guess I don't know, was it the same for you guys that you had to like the students when they were deciding where to go to university, it was like all over. There's like people from the Philippines
Hmm.
or Indonesia or yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's similar. Yeah, I assume it would be the same for me because yeah, like I had people from all over the world and when we were applying for universities, like we applied everywhere. And there were Malaysians who I grew up with who thought they wanted to go back to Malaysia because they felt like the opposite. So instead of like you how you said AJ that you wanted to expand your horizons and not think like your countrymen, these Malaysians thought like, "Oh, I've lived abroad my whole life. So why shouldn't I go back to my country and like be with the people I'm supposed to be with? Like, or yeah, it's kind of like the opposite of what you thought. And like I knew that I didn't want to go I didn't want to go back to Malaysia. Like I knew that I wanted to stay abroad. And I was thinking of like US because I went to an American high school. But it was too far, and it was also like compared to the UK, I feel like the US is, I'm sorry, like this might get into politics, but from my own experience, because I visited there, like they're much more racist. Like the border
Ooh.
controls. Can you imagine just the border controls? They're so much more racist than the ones in London or Manchester. So like
Yeah.
I didn't get a very good impression when yeah, because when I think I was in Chicago where we landed, and this border control officer was harassing me and saying like if I didn't take off my hijab for a picture, then I can't enter the country.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And
wow.
he brought like a lady with her, and then like because I said like, oh, I'll take off my hijab in front of a woman, but I won't take a picture. And then this lady came who's also an officer, and then she looked at me and she's like, do you want to go to America? This is what you have to do. And it was very traumatic and very very unpleasant, to say the least. So I applied to some universities in the US, but like I knew that I wouldn't want to experience that every time I traveled. That's why I turned to the UK. And then I found York, as honest, like I think everyone on UniTea days, like we all share love for York. And my love for York started in 2013, or maybe even earlier. I think I started researching courses and found York pretty early on. But I visited the UK, I think in 2013, I think towards the end of the year, before I applied for universities. And when I visited York, guys, I swear to you, and this is why I always tell my sisters, especially my sister who's applying for universities now, like I always tell them, like, I knew the second I stepped onto York's campus, I knew that was the place I wanted to spend my university days. And I was just pulled. I just fell in love with the campus, with the people, with the city. So yeah, I knew not only that I knew I wanted to go to the UK, I knew I wanted to go to York. And I think similar to AJ, like how and Yura, like how you guys did IB, and it was really tough, and I was so close to not being accepted to York, but by some miracle they accepted me. This is why I tell you guys, like the requirements, like I think my requirement was like 35, 36, and I got a 29, guys. Like I got a 29.
What?
They accepted me. Miracles happen, guys. I don't know how, but I did. But before I ramble on, Shafi, please share with us why you chose to study in the UK.
As for me, my decision to study in the UK is sort of it's an easy decision, because it's a common decision taken by Bruneians who want to pursue their studies abroad. It's always the number one choice, is commonly the UK. So I thought it only made sense for me to go down the same path as some of my seniors who went to the UK. And then plus at that point I wasn't really considering to study in other countries. Mostly because initially I thought I would be pursuing my undergrad locally, but then there was opportunity for me
Mhm.
to study abroad, and I chose the UK. Um, yeah, and it's not just an easy decision for me; it's also an easy decision for my parents and my family members to
Mhm.
choose. It's there's also the security factor uh, that's being heavily considered. and not just myself, but other people as well. This is how like the decision making is in as a Bruneian at least. It's you also have to take into account, the views of your family members, whether they think it's a good decision or not. So it's not always entirely 100% your decision. So like yeah, on that, security was an important matter, because like Mai said, I didn't consider the US, but then it did occur to me as well to study there. But then comparing between the two countries, yeah, here's where it got interesting, because like when you mentioned about the whole racism thing, that's what I had initially thought of the US as well, because I never been there um, for before my undergrad, but so I had the opportunity to study in the US. Well, not study, but like go for a fellowship there after uni in UK, and then here's where my experience differed a bit from yours, because during immigration, the immigration check, because I landed in Houston, um, it was so easy for me to pass through the
Oh.
the immigration. Yeah, I thought it would be difficult. Like I had a
Yeah.
much more difficult experience at Heathrow. Like they were
Oh.
interviewing me and stuff. Like in Houston, I just went straight. Like they checked my passport and I just went out straight. And then like, so my passport has like Muhammad, right, in it, and
Yeah.
still that didn't really stop them. I didn't get stopped
Oh.
basically, and then I just went straight.
Wow.
And then yeah, I know the people there. Okay, okay. So this is out of topic, but people generally in the south side of the U.S., because that's where I went for the fellowship. Georgia, Houston. We went around Georgia, Houston, Alabama, Florida. They're so much more friendly than
Then the
even the
UK.
people in York. I swear, I'm not like York is like they named it like the friendliest city in the UK. But then like, when they say Southern hospitality, you keep hearing that a lot when people refer to the southern states. It's actually true. Like, and it's just really weird because as a foreigner, being treated with so much warmth and friendliness from the locals who you barely even know, like it's just yeah, it's I thought the UK, like, well, York at least is the most friendliest place in the world, but then like after going to the States. And yeah. But anyway, like we're talking about why I decided to go to the UK. But yeah, yeah, because of that, because like I didn't have any experiences like in other countries outside of Southeast Asia, at least, to consider for uni. And then plus UK, I've actually been to the UK twice before studying there, so I was familiar with the place. And yeah, and then plus when it comes to food, there's halal food here and there in the UK, so that gave me a sense of ease, to study there, especially as a Bruneian, as a Muslim. So yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that was being taken into account, but I'm not really touching much on the academic aspect of it, because I'll talk about that when I choose why I went to York. But then these are some of the
Oh, yeah.
decisions that were being taken into account when I was choosing UK. So a lot of social-cultural aspects, uh, because
And
that's
it's
what
important. Yeah.
because what is it?
Oh, I just said it's
Okay.
important. It's an important factor.
Yeah, I agree, because like you're starting a life there.
Yeah,
You're not just
exactly.
starting an
Yeah.
academic life. You're starting your whole life. It's a whole new chapter, and it's a whole new world. And
Mm.
it's important. Exactly what you said. It's important to have these things being considered. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for that, Shafi.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
can I add some stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Shavi was talking about considering it in the social kind of aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I could maybe give the academic side of it.
Okay, go
Oh.
ahead.
Because before I choose the UK, I considered applying to a lot of countries.
Mm.
I thought about applying to Germany because it was cheap and it was good for like psychology as well, but I have to study the language again. So I thought no. And then Japan as well, but also Japan I have to take like the language again. Not a lot of courses are in English. And then
Yeah.
there's America.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to go to the US. I even already take the SATs, but
Mm.
knowing that like AJ said that you have to study something that you kind of don't want to study and you won't use it anyways, and it's a waste of like my academic time, if that makes
Mm.
sense. So my choice was either Australia or the UK. And I thought Australia is too near Indonesia. There's too much Indonesian there. So
Oh,
I want
yes.
something fresh. Because also in the UK, it's only 3 years for undergrads, while almost in like a lot of countries, they have 4 years.
That's
So I
true.
Mm.
get to graduate 1 year early.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, definitely.
yeah, like I don't know if it's just Indonesian mentality, but if you graduated early, people will look up to you.
Ah, same here, girl. Same here.
I think same as well. Not entirely sure, but I think.
That's the academic aspect because UK is an English based country anyways, and all the courses are in English. All you need to do is just learn English and IELTS and
Mm.
TOEFL, I think. So it was easier to get into, and you don't have to write like essays like in the US. All you need to do is personal statement, which is like much more personal and much more easier to do, I guess. So.
Mm.
That's true.
I'm just thinking back. I think part of the reason my mom really pushed for me to go to the UK as well, because she wanted me to graduate early. She thought, yeah, you know, Asian moms, Malaysian moms, like wanting to show off their kids. You mom, sorry, but it's both a good and bad, I feel, because I honestly like now, because I feel like I went through so many hoops to get to where I am now. I just feel like I think I would have benefited from being in Australia or the US, because I would be able to take subjects outside of my core subjects, because like I felt very limited. Like I loved York, I love my course and everything, but at the same time I kind of wish that I could have done other subjects as well, because I feel like I would be better equipped, especially now that I'm a primary school teacher. I feel like it would have benefited me a lot to be more educated, I guess. It's both a good and bad. I guess for you, like Yura and AJ, you two seem to have a very focused academic goal. So it would make more sense for you to pursue a subject in that. What do you think, Shafi? Do you have anything to add on that?
On the academic aspect.
Yeah. Like, did it appeal to you that you were just
Uh,
going to study the same core subjects?
well, I did politics and IR. I didn't do anything similar to that back in my school days or A levels because I did history, I psychology and sociology. But then like basically I was influenced by my sort of goal to work in foreign affairs. So I took
Mm.
politics with IR, and then I was basing this in the context of UK universities, right? So like I chose York because it's one of the top unis for politics and IR.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not sure where UK as a country stands in the world ranking in terms of politics, but basically I didn't really consider that much because I was already set on going to the UK, and then from there I just chose one of the top unis for politics and IR, and that's what led me to York. That's how I focused my goal, my basically my academic goal, I guess.
Oh, all very interesting. With that, I remember in our previous discussions, I think someone said silly, but I don't think it's silly. I think it's pretty valid because I'm like, when I was looking at the UK, I was also looking at concerts and like places
Oh,
that like festivals that I could go to. And yeah, in my first year, I regret not doing anything in my first year because there was quite a few artists who I could have seen in my first year, but I didn't go because I didn't find my people. But in my second year, I started going to concerts, and I can't remember off the top of my head how many concerts I've been, but I went to a lot. I think one of the people here also has something similar that they can add.
Like,
gosh. This is really embarrassing.
Not
Oh
naming any
my.
names.
Wow. Okay. I have a confession to make.
Yes.
One of the like teeny tiny but kind of like really important reason why I choose the UK is because I used to love One Direction. Like I'm a
Mhm.
huge fangirl, so I thought that hey, maybe if I move closer to them I could actually meet them. The answer is no, guys. You can't just meet celebrities like
Oh.
so easily, especially if you live in a very small
Mhm.
town.
Yeah.
But it does give you access to concerts. So,
Did you ever
yeah.
go to 1D concert?
Oh no, another embarrassing story. I did not, but how to say this? So I went to the place where they have the concert and take a
Mhm.
picture at a poster there and then just go back without actually attending the concert because I don't have money and I don't like being surrounded by screaming preteen girls.
Oh, Yura.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite 1D member?
Oh,
If I can ask.
we're
oh,
going
Is
there,
it
huh?
another embarrassing
wow,
confession?
we're going there.
Oh, shall we save it for another time?
Well, I could just say like my bias back then was like Niall Horan. That's it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's the tea. Moving on.
Oh. Okay, I won't embarrass you any further, Yura.
Oh,
But if I can just ask a question,
yeah,
I mean, if you're is done talking about One Direction,
I'm done.
or do you wanna
I'm
expand on
totally done.
it?
Uh-huh.
I'm just a bit curious on how much time you guys had, on deciding to go to UK, like, or just deciding about studying abroad. How much time did you guys have?
Oh.
That's a good question.
Mm.
I
Because like just the context of this question is because for me I only had a few months to basically
Oh,
choose where to
really?
go after A
Month?
levels. Yeah, well, yeah. Like because like I said before, it didn't occur to me until my very last year doing the very few last months of my A level years and my A level uh time, because initially I thought I was going to a local university, but then this because to my qualifying exams I got the grades that this shocked me. I got good enough grades to study abroad, and then from there on, I just like, oh, why have I never ever considered anything beyond studying locally, And then, so basically, I only had a few months, which is right after the A level exam until when the results came out. So
That
that's
is
Oh.
in between
short.
that
Oh
time. There were like
wow.
3 months. Very short, yeah. Which affected my decision quite a lot, actually. Yeah, that's when I started sending my applications, right? And then basically, I was just waiting for my results to be able to confirm my studies in the UK. So yeah, and then like in that very short period of time, I already chose the UK because I just didn't have uh, I just didn't think. I mean, I could consider other countries as well, but then I think, yeah, just being in that situation where I was even surprised that I can study abroad. Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, because like it seems that you guys had quite a lot of time to consider studying in other countries. So yeah, I'm just wondering how did it differ in terms of experience.
I mean, I had
Wow.
years.
Mm.
I had
Oh.
years because yeah, my final, but before I went to IB, like, how do I explain this? Okay, because in the Philippines, like when you graduate high school, you go straight to university. Like you only take like 4 years of high school and then you're off to university. So I was on my fourth year in high school then, and then I had the option to either apply for university or locally or like do the IB. And like I wasn't really sure yet
Oh.
if I should go like the IB or not. But yeah, so I thought like initially I was
Mm.
on my fourth year already. I was deciding on that. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just study locally. I'll just study here and then probably I'll do post grad abroad. And then yeah, like mid of that fourth year in high school, I decided to do the IB. So I
Mm.
shifted like midway and decided to study
Yeah.
abroad. So yeah. But then like with that decision, I already had the UK in mind. So it took like
Oh.
it really had like a long time for me to like decide. So it wasn't like a quick
Yeah.
like a sudden turn of events like yeah, I want to study in the UK. Like it took me like 2 3 years before I went to the UK, but I
Mhm.
decided then. But yeah, that was me.
Yura, would you like to go next?
Hmm. I think it took me around a year or two. So I was planning to go to the US and then I took my SATs and my
Mhm.
SAT score is no good. Like I
Mhm.
gave up on it
Same.
and and I was like thinking like where else could I go? And I saw the UK and I think my parents really wanted me to go there because it's safer, like
Mhm.
level of criminality. And I thought, okay, what are my options in the UK? And I researched it around a year or so. And I decided to go on foundation after 6 months of planning and seeing that my grades won't be able to go to the UK. So, yeah, around 6 months to a year, I guess.
Mm.
Can I share before
Yeah.
like we
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
of the SAT, because the SATs are mentioned like twice already. Like I never got my
Uh-huh.
SAT scores. Like I
What?
took the
What do you
exam,
mean?
but I never got like my results.
What? Why?
I don't
What
Was
know.
it
happened?
scary?
Because
Oh,
I think
oh.
like we processed it through our high school and they never gave it to me because they're the ones who receive your scores for
What?
some reason. So yeah, they never gave it to me. But like I'm already in med school, so I don't mind what my SATs are. But yeah, I never got to know my
Oh,
score.
dude. What a confession. Well, it's not really a confession, is it? I don't know.
But yeah, like that's why
Oh,
Do
like
you
whenever
still want to know though?
like I don't know, like I'm pretty sure I did bad
If you had
because
the chance, like,
it's also funny because like because I was already in the IB when they told me like, oh, you paid for the SAT, so you might as well take it. And they told me that like a week
Oh
before the
wow.
SATs, so I wasn't able to like prepare for it at all.
Oh gosh.
So I
Oh,
just went in there and just took it. I'm like, yeah,
Oh.
YOLO this. I wasn't planning on studying in the US anyway, so I'm like, yeah, YOLO. I'm just gonna like take it and
Dude, I
whatever.
hate the SAT.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
If AJ School is listening to this, please give my boy his SAT scores back.
Yes.
Oh
Shout
my
out to Aegis High School. Oh gosh, what a story.
How about you, Mai? Like, how long did it take you?
Me, I think similar to you, well, not instead of the end of my high school, like so a little background. When I was choosing where to go for high school, I had mainly two options. And I chose the high school I went to because I didn't want to do the IB. Yeah, I refused to go to the other school because I knew that if I went there, I would have to do the IB. And then in my ninth grade, my first year of high school, I befriended people who were a year above me. So they had to decide whether they wanted to do AP or IB. And then I don't know how, but they kind of roped me into doing IB as well. Like I just, yeah, not necessarily fell in love with the idea, but more like I was intrigued and I felt like it was an opportunity not missed. So I think it was around 2012 when I started looking at universities. I think I had like a very early research process when I was deciding what subjects to take for IB. Because I think at that point I knew that I wanted to go to the UK and I knew I had to be very selective with my subjects. So yeah, it took me years. I had years to decide. Yeah, I had plenty of time to decide. I wasn't in a rush. And I was a big planner back then. So I didn't want to be roped into a decision because I felt like if I didn't decide what and where I wanted to go for university, my parents would somehow decide for me and I refused to do that. So that's why I think I planned very early on where to go. So with that, unless someone else wants to just add in another reason they chose the UK.
all right. Yeah, I just find it interesting how decisions, the decision-making process differs from group of Southeast Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like I just find it interesting how when Yura said that she wants to go as far away from any place with Indonesians. Yes, that was one of the main reasons why I chose UK because there's a lot of Bruneians studying there.
Oh.
And then, yeah. This just gives that sense of how do you say this? You just need to be surrounded by your own people, right? That's what that was like the thought process, not just of myself but then of others as well. Keep saying, oh, when I chose my uni, the first thing they would ask is, oh, are there any Bruneians there? You know,
Oh,
so that
interesting.
was one of the there was one of the that's where that's why we had all these society, like you guys, you have your own societies as well, right? Like Malaysian
Yeah.
society, Indonesian society, and then like basically the bigger the bigger the Bruneian society is, the more secure you would feel. But then like that was the thought process before going to the UK. But then like after coming to the UK, you know, like you know me, I wasn't always surrounded by Bruneians. I look for other people as well. You know, so these are some of the things like the expectations that you would have before going to the UK, like which affects your studies. But then which affects your decision. Then once you go there, like you'll realize, all these things that you put into the thought process, they wouldn't even really matter. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's all I have to say.
Like that was like for me personally, that like having Filipinos wasn't really a factor of where I chose to study.
Mm.
Like I never thought of it like if there will be
Oh.
Filipinos or like if I'm gonna be far away from like Filipinos, because I really just wanted to be
Oh my
like
god.
mixed with a lot of people. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I just
I
wanted to meet
agree.
people. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
go like beyond like what I'm already used to.
Mm.
So that's like
Yeah.
like one of the main reasons like why I didn't really bother thinking like, oh yeah, there's gonna be Filipinos in my
Yeah.
university, or like am I the only Filipino? Because like on my first year in New York, I really thought I was the only Filipino in the biology department.
Oh.
So I was like,
Poor
oh, okay,
AJ.
so that's fine. Like I didn't mind at all. And then like come second year, there was a Filipino in the biology department as well. Like, oh yeah. But yeah, like I guess like
Well,
it really is something that you think about when you consider studying in a certain country, like how secure you would feel
mm,
given, yeah, because some like Shafi, if some people feel secure with their countrymen in with them in their proximity, then that's great. Like you go for that too.
Yeah.
yeah. I I wanted to be as far away from people I knew as possible. um, so
Same.
that's why I chose York, because I'm like, no one wants to go to York. Like, it's not a big city. It's up north in England. Like, people think I'm going to New York. Like, no. um, but my mom, she was looking
There's
for
a lot of
Malaysian.
Malaysians there.
Yeah, so I thought York, like, there wouldn't be any Malaysians. But lo and behold, the year that we started, there was the biggest batch of Malaysians
Oh my
that came
god.
to York. And 9 of them were in the same course as me. So I couldn't escape the Malaysians. But I love them now. I met one of my closest friends from being in New York. So Malaysians aren't all bad as high school Mai thought it would be.
Yeah, I
Um,
probably should clarify now.
what,
feel
Kira?
bad. I feel bad because like I said that I don't want to meet Indonesians. Well, it's true. I'm not going back on that. But like after being like not around Indonesian, like a lot of Indonesian, you feel that sense of loneliness. And then when you meet an actual Indonesian at York, you're like, oh my gosh, like you're Indonesian, like I'm Indonesian too, and like you get so excited. And I guess
Yeah.
that's what yeah, I guess that's what I like. Like I don't know about you guys, but that kind of thought process didn't come out until I was in New York and actually didn't meet a lot of Indonesians. Like back then I thought like
Mm.
I don't like I already studied my high school in Indonesia and meet a lot of Indonesian people. I want to go somewhere where I don't meet Indonesian people and make friends from people from other countries.
Mhm.
And I didn't thought about that there is like best of both worlds. Like you could be both like be friends with other people from other country, but at the same time finding that happiness when you meet your fellow countrymen in another country. So
That is true.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's like blessings in disguise, I guess. We don't really know what we need or want until it's right in front of us.
That is true.
Mm.
Um
I had a very similar thinking with Yura, and then like I met some
Mhm.
Filipinos, and I'm like I actually love them.
Yeah, right?
Like karaoke, they have karaoke machines.
Of course they do.
Like I'm already like sold. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Like I think the first thing they told me was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have dinner and then karaoke afterwards." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going."
Wow.
Oh my god, I think, yeah, AJ, I just remember when we were trying to find a Filipino rep for ASEAN, it was a bit hard because we didn't know a lot of Filipinos there, and then, I think we didn't know any until you came along. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like we're so scarce in New York. Like we're such a
yeah.
You're
I
the one
small.
thought
who created
Bruneians
the
we were there were
society.
three.
Yeah, we're like
Yeah,
five,
Sorry.
6 people in the society.
Alrighty, guys. Initially we wanted it to be a short episode, but we're coming up to almost an hour.
Wow.
Wow.
we got good enough
Yeah,
content
so
already to work with.
yeah, it was really great. Like I'm so glad. Like I wish the rest of UniTea Days was here to share their thoughts and experiences, but we can save that for another episode. Before I conclude, I just want to tell to our audience that Instagram, we're going to have some polls and some question boxes for you to engage in our future episode titles and topics. So keep an eye out on your Instagram for that. With that, does anyone want to say anything, promote anything, or say some last words before we conclude our episode today?
If anything, stay at home, stay safe, and wear a mask.
Oh, wow.
Oh, just
Um,
speaking on that as well, since the pandemic happened, I think that's going to be one of the main factors for people now, whether they want to choose to
Oh,
study
Oh, yeah.
in the UK
yeah.
or abroad generally, or even studying at the university.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
there's like the whole everything is digitalized now anyway, and like people can just study online. If this were the case back then, I don't think I would even
Yeah.
choose to study abroad, period. So
Mhm.
health factor is one thing. And then
Oh,
the
yeah.
UK, I think like and then I think the UK, you guys it's the restrictions are partially lifted already, right?
It's there's like a roadmap. So we're in the second stage. On the 17th,
Okay.
there's going to be more restrictions lifted if Boris agrees.
Oh.
There are still cases every day in the thousands or hundreds now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, so like it wouldn't be a easy decision to choose the UK, especially if you have really really concerning parents.
Mm. Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
this would not even cross their mind. I'm just lucky that the pandemic happened after I graduated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, me and AJ are still feeling the effects of being a student in pandemic times.
yes.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
All
not
right.
You are
not
in the
pleasant at
UK
all.
still.
Oh well. On that note, hope everyone's staying safe and hope you stay tuned to our next episode. We have a lot planned for you. So just keep an eye out on our YouTube and Instagram. And with that, I conclude today's episode.
Wee.
Woohoo!